I'm trying not to divorce my husband of 16 years. Can this marriage be saved? A 15-month-long journey. I am at a crossroads with regard to my marriage. There was infidelity on his part several years ago, shortly after the birth of our child. He claims there was nothing physical, just an emotional affair. I was devastated. With the work of a therapist and a focus on activities I enjoy running, volunteering, reconnecting with friends, I was able to build my self-confidence back up. Although our relationship has never recovered to the way things were before the affair, things have been peaceful in our house. But recently, I've realized that I want more from my marriage. Our child is older and not as dependent on me. I'm stable in my career. We are debt-free. I feel healthier and more in control of my life than I ever have. My libido has come back stronger than ever. I have a zest for life that I haven't had since before the affair. But my husband seems content with the way things are. He doesn't put any effort into spending time with me. There is no intimacy on his part. He does not initiate sex. TBH, he does not seem very interested in me. I have talked to him about my needs and how I'm feeling. He claims he has low testosterone, but won't do anything about it. He doesn't want to go to any sort of counseling. He stated that he doesn't feel the urgency to fix anything in our marriage. At this point in our marriage, we should be enjoying our new freedom, no debt, no small children. I want to travel, go on adventures, and have sex. Lots of it. He is just not interested. Is there hope? Should I keep trying to talk to him? We have weekly talks to no avail. He's just getting annoyed at this point. What have others done to successfully turn a situation like this around? Relevant comments. Did the husband take responsibility for his cheating? He accepted responsibility for the hurt he caused me, but refused marriage counseling. He didn't think it was that big of a deal because there was no physical aspect. I chose to forgive and continue on with the marriage for several different reasons: kid, finances, fear. You are right. Focusing on myself after the affair has allowed me to think about what I want and need in a relationship. This is currently not it. But I don't want to just throw in the towel without trying everything I can. Hence, I'm here on Reddit seeking advice. It sounds like he never came back from the affair. Who was it with? He wouldn't tell me, so I don't know. Then all of this is very much unresolved, no accountability, and he hasn't even told you who it was. How do you know it was only emotional? I had no proof it was physical. We had a life and a young child. He apologized. Did I, or do I still have my suspicions? Yep. But at the end of the day, I can't make him tell the truth. I can only make my own decisions. And I decided to accept his story. Was it a mistake? Probably. But hindsight and all that. Later that night. Thanks everyone for your input. We had another conversation tonight. Same old same. Can't commit to doing the work because he doesn't know how much work it's going to entail. What about our kid? We're great co-parents. Blah blah blah. All sprinkled in between, I do love you. I know it's time for me to stop chasing and just walk away. It's so damn scary though. Update. Following up on my last post, it's on my profile page if you want a background. I had a final talk with my husband. Here is a synopsis of our conversation. 1. I told him that I refuse to live like this any longer. I want a husband, not a roommate or co-parent. His response is that we owe it to our son to provide him with a 2-parent household. 2. I told him that we owe it to our son to be happy, so that he knows what happiness looks like. I don't want to normalize this environment for him. My husband doesn't understand why he can be content to live like this, but I can't. They accused me of being insecure because I can't live without a man. 3. My husband says that we should continue to carry on like this for our son, and maybe the relationship will improve with time. I responded by saying that our marriage has never really been good, and I don't want to go back to that. I want to try to work towards something better. 4. He says that he believes that I like being miserable and asks me several times, why can't you just be happy? 5. The husband then admits to me that he never wanted to get married and have kids, but that is what normal people do, so he went along with it. This was an aha moment for me, as I always knew something wasn't right about our marriage. I was never settled and always had to fight for my needs. 6. I asked my husband to move out of the house so we could start a separation. He refused, saying that it would be too hard on him. I obviously can't leave because I am the main caregiver for our son, and I am not willing to uproot him. When we separate, I'd like my son to continue to have this home as his primary residence. 7. After the aha moment came an intense wave of sadness. I am now questioning everything in my life. I started to cry, and he got frustrated and left. 8. We have not said anything to each other since. We will briefly discuss household duties and childcare, but that's it. Husband has been helpful around the house, with his school activities and schedule, very attentive to our son, polite and not nasty, and planning family game nights and things we can do together as a family. Most of the things I begged him to do for the last 16 years. This is just confusing and infuriating. Why now when I have one foot out the door? I really don't know what to do at this point. He doesn't want me to leave, but won't stop me if I do. He won't leave, but has stated verbatim that he refuses to work on our marriage. I am totally confused. I am seeking advice. Please note that just leave is not an option for me. I'd have to leave my son. That is not an option. Relevant comment. You have to actively make changes. Leave with your son. He won't let me leave with my son, and I can't just do it. That would be kidnapping. I would make my situation so much worse than it is. I could move out on my own, and then work on a custody arrangement with my husband. But my son will be devastated. He would not want to leave the home he's lived in his entire life. I'm not sure I can do that to him now. I was working with a realtor to find a home, but my husband is making it difficult. AITA post. My husband and I no longer have any sort of relationship. We are co-parents and roommates. My husband refuses to work on marriage, but doesn't want me to leave as he thinks our child will suffer. You can read my previous posts on the current state of my marriage on my Reddit page. Husband and I both have good paying jobs that allow us to pay all monthly bills, save for retirement and emergencies, and still have a bit left over for fun. We have a household budget tracker that shows that we pay roughly equally for household expenses, even though he makes more than me. I recently got a second part-time job that will allow me to invest in myself, new professional headshots, going on vacations by myself or with friends, therapy, etc. I do not want this income to be included in our household income. My husband thinks my new income should count towards our household income, and as such, I should be paying more proportionally toward household expenses, as far as I'm concerned. Since I no longer have to put any effort into our failed marriage, I can instead start to focus on working on myself. This includes spending money from my part-time job on things or experiences that will make me happy. My question is, AITA for not using the money I earn from my part-time job toward our household. Edit to add. My second job will be done from home in the evenings. There is no need for my husband to help me with childcare or additional tasks around the house. Relevant comments. If he suddenly got a bonus or raise, would he include that money in the household budget? Probably not. I suspect you're right. I know he has received bonuses from his job, but I've never seen a dime. He has purposefully kept our finances separate and kept me in the dark about what he earns and spends. He, of course, has always had access to all of my financial information. More information on sons and responsibilities. There are no childcare costs. Our child is a teenager. I edited my post to state this. My part-time job will not require him to do anything extra. It's all online and can be done in the evenings after our kid is in bed. My husband traveled for work 2-3 weeks per month for most of our marriage. He also travels several weeks per year with friends. I never asked for compensation for basically raising our child and maintaining our household by myself. The thought of compensating him for the situation his choices have put us in makes me feel guilty. I don't mean to take it out on you. Their relationship now. He stated he's committed to reviewing our options for marriage after our child is out of the house. For now, he thinks we should both continue to live together and co-parent. We are low conflict, just not affectionate with each other. I can't speak for him, but I have zero desire or energy to even think about finding someone else. After 16 years of marriage, I'm questioning everything in my life. Update. I have contacted a divorce lawyer just to see what my options are. He was so helpful. We'd approach it as an uncontested divorce, splitting everything 50-50. I'm going to reach out to a few more for pricing. My heart breaks at the thought of not seeing my child every day. We have a very good relationship, and I'm the person he talks to about stuff. But I do not want him to think that this is healthy for me. It's not. I'm constantly questioning my worth and what I did wrong. I've also reached out to a few therapists. As far as my income from my part-time job is concerned, I am going to use it for myself. I told him that if he gets a part-time job, he can use the money however he wants. He is not happy, but I can't concern myself with his happiness anymore. Thank you all for your honest feedback. Final update. Hi everyone. It's been a while since I've posted in this community, over a year, but I wanted to give you an update since you all were kind enough to offer advice on my earlier posts. What a difference a year can make. If you've read my previous posts, you'll know that I was in a really SHTTY situation this time last year. My marriage had ended years ago, and I was in the throes of grieving it. I contemplated self-harm, but thank goodness I was able to talk myself out of it. Since then, I've separated from my husband, purchased a house, gotten a new job, ran a marathon, met a new man, and traveled quite a bit. It's been a wild and busy year. I won't get into all of the details of the adventures I've had, but if you'd like to know more, just message me. Now that I've slowed down, I'm sitting here on the eve of Thanksgiving, reflecting on the year. A few of my thoughts. 1. They say marriage is hard and divorce is hard, so choose your hard. Divorce is definitely much harder, and it's something I would not celebrate unless the person was in danger. 2. There are times when I wonder if I did the right thing. Not because I miss my ex, but because I was safer married. It's less scary to face the devil you know than the devil you don't know. Ultimately, I know I did the right thing. One cannot live with constant disrespect from their spouse and expect to be well mentally. But I will always wonder if I could have held out a bit longer, at least until our child was in college and out of the house. 3. There really is no perfect person out there waiting for you to find them. There are a lot of imperfect people who are either doing the work or not. I constantly check in with myself to ensure I'm one of the ones doing the work. 4. Unfortunately, there are more people not doing the work. I get it, it's hard and painful. It's slow going and takes an incredible amount of strength to really look at your own issues, strength to leave relationships that do not work for you regardless of who is at fault, and strength to be alone. 5. We always want the story to be a victim-villain scenario, but in most cases, it's not. Don't get me wrong. There are times when someone clearly is a victim. But barring Oz, most of the time we are so blinded by our ego that we fail to see the role we play in the demise of our relationships. My ex is not a bad person. He just wasn't the person for me. In my haste to get married and have kids, I ignored this very glaring fact. And in my haste to get over my separation, I ignored that with the new man I got involved with 4 months after my separation was formalized. 6. Which brings me to the present. The new relationship I was in recently ended in a similar way that my marriage ended. They say that the universe will keep sending you the same lesson until you learn it. More true words have not been spoken. At least I can recognize this now. And when you know better, you can do better. FYI, it's not the universe, it's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. I went right back to what I knew. 7. And finally, the one thing I've learned to notice in my life are the constants. My health, my incredible family, the amazing girlfriends that have stood by me, and my own kick-ass attitude. I know you will always take care of me, and that is so comforting. Recently, one of my best friends confided in me that she's thinking about divorcing her husband. She explained the situation to me, and then asked me what she should do. I gave her the most honest answer I've ever given anyone in my life. I don't know. I'm not her, and I cannot possibly understand the situation she's in. But I did promise her that whatever decision she made would be the right one for her, and that I would support her 100%. For anyone who's contemplating a major life change, please know that you really do know what is best for you. Please trust yourself to make the decisions you need to make, knowing that you will be there to take care of yourself. I wish you all the adventures, self-love, and friendship that your heart can handle. Happy holidays and